Let's face it, all of us are angry and affected by Eskom's seemingly never-ending scheduled power cuts. But what if you threw unplanned outages and further irregular electricity supply into the mix? Well, for this group, it means taking to the streets to vent their frustrations. People under the banner Soshanguve concerned residents are planning to march on Tshwane House today. Joining the march to bring us the latest is eNCA reporter Nkosazana Dambuza. Nkosazana, thank you so much for joining us. Scheduled power cuts are bad enough on their own, but the residents of Soshanguve say it's more than just that. They're also bearing the brunt of unplanned outages.
Absolutely, Annika. A group of about 30 frustrated elderly residents have marched from the old Patco depot through the Pretoria CBD to Tshwane House to hand over a memorandum of demands expressing their frustrations. But I'm just going to move out a shot and give you a picture of what is happening here today. These residents are calling for a direct supply of power from Eskom to their area of Soshanguve. They want to be able to buy electricity directly from the national power utility to avoid having to pay tariffs from the city of Tshwane, which they say are just too costly for them. But they also want electricity tariffs to be reduced by 100%. And I'm joined now by Mam Flora Chauke, who is a resident of Soshanguve, just to tell us what are some of the demands. I mean, you guys are elderly citizens. You've come out during the third wave of COVID-19, which is quite dangerous for you at the moment. Why did you feel it was important to express your frustrations?
We plead with the city of Tshwane to reduce our tariffs by 100%, as we are paying the tariffs every month, because they reduced the Johannesburg with the 50%, and in Johannesburg they don't pay rent. And we have a rubbish bin. You contribute 348, but it is a tender from somebody else. And we didn't sign the contract with that particular person. So we plead with that person to cancel, to breach the contract, so that we can use another bins for the waste management. And electricity, we plead with the Eskom so that we can pay direct from Eskom. Because if you pay in the city of Tshwane, they block your electricity if you have areas. And then they want 80%. As a SASA people, we don't have that money. If they don't block it, you buy electricity with 100 rand. They deduct 60 rand for your areas. And the Eskom is not benefiting anything. So as long as their tariffs is too high for city of Tshwane, so we want Eskom just to step aside so we can deal with city of Tshwane. There is a meter leaking in Soshanguve and drain leaking. You will report them, they'll come after a month. And then there is in the graveyard, we contribute money to bury. The day you install the tombstone, you contribute again. And at the burial day, there is a certain guy will come with a grave number, and he wants 100 rand. And that slip he gave you, there is no CK number, no emblem. You don't know where he comes from.
Ma'am Flora, you say that you want, load shedding to only hit the area, or rather you want power cuts to only hit the area of Soshanguve once a day instead of twice. Do you think that the city of Tshwane will be able to deliver this demand?
Yeah, it will. Because they must consider the way we are trustworthy. They can't treat us the way with the other townships where they don't pay rent. And they must also think there are elderly people there in Soshanguve. It's an old place, so you can't stay without electricity.
Now talk to me about the issues of service delivery in the area, as well as RTP housing, which you say that some residents here have been waiting for since 1998.
Yes, the poor services in Soshanguve, they don't clean our streets. We have to clean our streets. Leaking. Always there is water running from our streets, and our health-wise, as elderly people, we are not safe. And then the POP, as elderly people, we qualify for this POP because we earn 1,890. Because of being a widow, you must go and get a lawyer, so that they must appear only your name. We don't have money to pay the lawyer, so that we can get the POP. Or the husband or your wife left you in the house. You have to go and get that particular person. Like the children-headed families, They have to go and get an estate and change the names. It's money. We can't afford all those things. So they have to change their requirement. Another one, there is the one of affordability assessment. If you earn 4,000 rand, you have the tariff fix of 15,000 rand. Being a SASA, how am I going to get the 4,000 from? And then the 15,000, yes, I have. The tariff mine is, the areas is 15,000. Where I'm going to get the 4,000 for? And where I'm going to get the receipt to prove that I've got lot of accounts all over. We don't open accounts, we are SASAs. So they have to they change their requirement because no one fits. It's only maybe the government workers who fit on that requirement, on that.
Has government gotten back to you regarding the issue of RDP housing?
No, you'll go to Soshanguve, city of Tshwane. They'll take you from pillar to pole. Especially the children of Soshanguve don't get RDPs. Maybe out of 10, it's only 3.
Well, there you have it, Annika. As you can see there, a list of demands from the residents of Soshanguve. And just a short moment ago, we had a representative from the city of Tshwane coming out to receive these memorandum of demands, which these residents had given the city of Tshwane 7 days to respond to. However, the city of Tshwane did request for at least 14 days to be able to give feedback. And what we did also get out of the representative is that they will most likely not be able to deliver the demand of, reducing load shedding as well as those electricity tariffs as these residents are calling for.
Nkosazana, thank you so much for interviewing those residents. You have to feel for them.